Mitaku api. Trakaha le ampetuki. Chante hetaha iuski an ape uchius papelo. Le miecha lechi ikran cholatipi ki ekta wahi. Na maza skanshkan oapre waji lakotia woglakapi na lako wichoch api. Hena nupi u iwag lakinkta yelo. Dwecha dukteta anarumta nakapi ki hena wopila tranka iprea lo. My relatives, first of all, on this day from my heart, I extend my handshake in a very happy way. This is me. I have come to the radio station, and for 1 hour, the Lakota language and culture I will speak on. Those that from wherever you are listening, I give you my words of thanks. Today is June 10th edition, 27th episode. 27 times we've been here, and beautiful day out there. A little bit okate, a little bit warm, but I think we can deal with that. Last week, we just want to review some of the things that took place last week. I believe there was some information on update of what we presented, listing of stories. I believe there was something like 57 stories and counting. And then Lakota sentences, we had 324 sentences from the book Lakota Sentences for Beginners, and I believe that's a book that Everyday Lakota from the Shichangu Oyate. And then we have some lessons from Hechetu Yalo Student Manual, The Way It Is. And that was published in OLC, Oglala Lakota College, in January of 1989. And made a reference to a couple other publications. Gave a little update on the 150th annual memorial of the Battle of the Little Bighorn. So that was, and then we had a couple of stories. Then we jumped right into a lesson, and we're still using the same lesson book, Hechetu Yalo. Today we'll have another lesson and a couple more stories. I found a couple of stories that I'd like to share with you. Again, we'd like to begin our program with prayer. So at this time, I'll recite the Serenity Prayer. Trunkashila wachwala makua, daku waglu trokcha oaki hishni, hena omakyayo. Daku waglu trokcha oaki hi hena washake, makua. Na omakya ki lena u woksape, hechil, waglu hakta yalo. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And the key phrase is Hektakya Akupo. Keep coming back. And this is for the people that are on a sobriety trail. We'd like to, as promised, I'll start with this is a Iktomi story, and it has a similar setting of other stories that are of this nature. Iktomi is always on a journey somewhere. Ikto was starting off on a journey, and this is how he was dressed. He wore leggings made of tanned teepee hide and slashed down at the outer seams, and a headdress of buffalo hair. And he wore about him a robe of raccoon skin with the tail left attached. He carried the remnants of a knife and a bow with 2 arrows. He was following a narrow creek which emptied unexpectedly into a large, deep river. Here Iktomi came to a stop. Since he could not cross, he sat down on the shore to bewail his misfortune when a hawk flew by. So he shouted for him. "What's the matter?" the hawk asked, and on learning that Iktomi wished to be transported to the other bank, the hawk agreed to carry him over. Taking Iktomi to a large hill nearby, he said, "Now sit on my back and hold on tightly. You might grow dizzy." To which Iktomi replied, "Don't worry about that. I shall be all right, and thank you, younger brother." He added, getting into his seat, "That's right, younger brother," he continued. "When one is a child beloved, it is incumbent on him to show kindness." So, saying, he straddled a bird. Then, just as the bird flew off, Iktomi repeatedly wrinkled up his nose and stuck out his tongue at the back of the bird's head. And as they flew over the river, he snapped his fingers at the crown of his head. Now the bird could see this last gesture by looking at the shadow they cast on the ground. So the bird said to himself, "The wretch, here he is again, Iktomi. Well, I'll just find a hollow tree and drop him into it." It seemed as if Iktomi sensed the plan in the hawk's mind, for he said, "Right here will do, younger brother, right here will do." He wished to be put off at once, but in the meantime, as he said this, he continued to snap his fingers at the bird, and again the bird saw it in the shadow. So when the bird sighted a hollow tree below, he flew on past, and then making a turn, he swept down towards it. And the instant he was directly over it, the hollow tree, he gave his body a sudden dip sideways and sent Iktomi howling into that hole of the hollow tree. So Iktomi sat down inside, and he cried and cried. After a while, a red-headed woodpecker came and sat on the tree. So Iktomi addressed him. "Ah, say, younger brother, make me a hole here for me, please." And the woodpecker, started to at once to peek down, and soon he had a hole made through which Iktomi could look out upon the world. At that instant, 2 women, Lakota women, went by on their way to gather firewood. So Iktomi tried to decide how to deceive them to his advantage. Suddenly he started to sing, hi-ho, a fat raccoon, here I sit. Hi-ho, a fat raccoon, here I sit. Did you hear that, cousin? He says he is a fat raccoon, one of the women said. This encouraged Iktomi to try harder. Raising his voice more, he said, hi-ho, a fat raccoon, here I sit. Hi-ho, a fat raccoon, here I sit. A fat raccoon, here I sit. Then one of the women said, oh, we must get it out, and that kind of fat is so fine for dressing hides. And Iktomi said, get me out, I'm fine for dressing hides. So the 2 women knocked down the tree with their axes, and Iktomi took the tail of his raccoon robe and thrust it out through the hole the woodpecker had made for him, and then drew it back in. He repeated this several times till one of the women said, Cousin, he is sitting right above there. What's the best thing to do? I wonder. And again Iktomi advised, bring fire and smoke me out. In that way, that's the only way you can get me. So the 2 women agreed to the suggestion and decided that one of them should go home for fire while the other remained to watch the raccoon. Don't do that. It is just possible that one's fire may go out, but if so, at least the others will be burning again. So they agreed with Iktomi, and they started home together. The 2 women started home together. So the moment they went out of sight, Iktomi stepped out and ran for the wood and sat looking out of the woods and laughing. Were two women ever such fools as these? They are fools, easy to trick. As for me, well, I'm quite a fellow, he said. The two women returned with fire, sweating to death almost in the hurry. When he saw them, he tickled and clawed himself with delight. He took out his knife and hastily cut a few saplings for arrows, whittling these as he came towards them. Well, younger sisters, what are you doing here? He asked. So they told him. Iktomi said, let me help. In return, I hope you will give me some of the grease for oiling my arrows. That kind always has plenty of fat, he said. Picking up wood for the fire, they had the inside of the tree all burned out and broke open, but there was no raccoon. So Iktomi consoled them. That's a shame, younger sisters. You know raccoons are tricky animals. Why, I'd wager that anything that since he knew that you were both going for fire, he stepped out the moment you went out of sight and ran somewhere. Iktomi stepped back a little, and as he said this, snapping his fingers at them under his blanket, well, I may as well go on cutting my sticks for arrows, he said, and start walking along the edge of the wood. I heard people without hearts. These women even had lungs missing. Where did they grow up anyway? I could persuade them without the slightest effort to run away with me. Still, why bother? Besides, fools they were. They did save my life after all. So I'll just let it pass, Iktomi said to himself as he walked along. So that was a story about Iktomi. And he's always up to his tricks. And that was Ikto and the raccoon skin. We're going to jump on over to the lesson plan. And this might take a few minutes. I believe I got it timed out here. It'll take about 12 minutes. This is lesson 9 from Hechitu Yalo, The Way It Is. And this is time, days of the week, time expressions, clock time. And there's a narrative. I'll read that to you. The traditional Lakota people operated on their own sense of time. Contemporary Lakota people now use the clock to schedule their time. Maza shkan means clock, watch, or time. The word is composed of maza, meaning metal, and shkan meaning move about or description of a clock. Oapre, from apcha, meaning strikes, is the striking of a clock, making the hour. And if you ever heard a clock, like there's some towns, cities, where they have a clock in town square, and you can hear it hit the hour, and they'll make sometimes there's bells, sometimes there's a sound of striking, and then they'll tell you what time it is, or it's on the hour, and then if it's the evening, sometimes they'll give you an idea what time it is without looking at the big clock. So that was just a little added info. First of all, we're going to go with the days of the week. Ampetu Trokahe is Monday. Ampetu Numpa is Tuesday. Ampetu Yamani is Wednesday. Ampetu Topa is Thursday. Ampetu Zapta is Friday. Owanka Yujajapi Ampetu is Saturday. And then Ampetu Wakhan is Sunday. So if you look at Ampetu Trokahe is the first day, and Monday is usually the first day, work day of the week. Then Ampetu Numpa is the second day. Ampetu Yamani is the third day. Ampetu Topa is the fourth day. Ampetu Zapta is the fifth day. And then it changes it up a little bit, and it says Owanka Yujaja Pi Ampetu. So Ampetu is the day. Owanka Yujaja Pi is kind of translates to the day you wash or clean the floor. So that's Saturday. And then the last day is Ampetu Wakhan. Ampetu is day, Wakhan is sacred. So again, this is dealing with the Christianity, where Sundays were considered Wakhan, sacred. So Sundays would be a day to go to church. But Lakota's every day is a prayer day. So, and the reason why I'm sharing this is that these are vocabulary words, and later on this lesson they'll be used in exercises. So let's continue on. Time expressions. Ampetu, day. Le ampetuki, this day, today. Happy, night. Le happy ki, this night, tonight. Chtalehan, yesterday. Akotahan, day before. Ampehan, today. In past tense, Ampehan. Bloketu, summer. Ha choka, midnight. We choka, noon. Wetu, spring, season of spring. Hihaniki, tomorrow. Hihani, morning. Chtayatu, evening. Ampe chokaya, noon. Ampo, dawn. Ha choka, midnight. Trumpi ampetu, birthday. Ptayatu, fall. Omakha, year. Oko, week. Waniatu, years, age or winter season. So those are the time expressions. Numbers. All of you should have your numbers down, and we're just a review for you. You could probably count with the eyes closed or one eye open. I don't know. And it says just this narrative that's included. When counting with the cardinal numbers, the number one changes when one gets to the teens, and after that, it will be said differently. Oh, I didn't know that. Wanaslowailo. I know now. Wanchi, numpa, two. Yamani, three. Dopa, 4. Zapta, 5. Shakpe, 6. Shakoi, 7. Shaglocha, Shagaloha, 8. Napchunka, 9. Wiktemina, 10. The number 0 in math is dakunishni. And then the word ake is used for the teens after Wiktemina, the number 10. Ake is put in front of the numbers, and the number 1, wanchi, is changed to wanji. So this is the teens. Ake wanji, 11. Ake numpa is 12. Ake yamani is 13. Ake dopa is 14. Ake zapta is 15. Ake shakpe is 16. Ake shakoi is 17. Ake shaglocha is 18. Ake napchunka is 19. And then we jump over to form the tens. Again, use Wiktemina as the base factor, which is multiplied by the units. Wiktemina is 10. So they give you a little short taste of it. Example-wise, Wiktemina is 10. Wiktemina numpa is 20. Wiktemina yamani is 30. Wiktemina topa is 40. Beginning with the 20s, the pattern is the same. Ending with 91, the word sam is used. So 21 will be Wiktemina numpa sam wanji. And 31 will be Wiktemina yamani sam wanji. Sam is pronounced as sum in English. It means more beyond more. It means more beyond more than. And the word for 100 is opawinche. So that is some of the vocabulary words. And then we're going to jump into the conjugations, verbal conjugations. And we'll hear some of these vocabulary words in the exercises. So, asnikya. Asnikya is to rest or vacation. Asniwakya, I rest. Asniyakya, you rest. Asnikya, he or she rests. Asnikiapi, they rest. Niakiapi, you all rest. Asniunyakiapi, asniunkiapi, okay. He, to arrive here. Wahi, I arrive. Yahi, you arrive. He or she arrives. Hipi, they arrive. Yahipi, you all arrive. Uhipi, we arrive. Excuse me. Now we jump into the exercises. First one will be a question and then a response. Lehan taku ampetu hai. Lehan taku ampetu ho. What day is today? And the answer given in the book is Lehan ampetu trokahe. Yeah. Lehan ampetu trokahe. Yellow. Today is Monday. Number 2. Lehan taku ampetu hai. Lehan taku ampetu ho. What day is today? And it's a fill in the blank type of exercise. So you could say, Leha ampetu numpa ye. Leha ampetu numpa yelo. Today is Tuesday, and you can continue on throughout the days of the week using the same template here. Number 3, Chtaleha taku ampetu he. Chtaleha taku ampetu ho. What day was yesterday? And the response in the exercise in the book here is Chtaleha ampetu wakha ye. Chtaleha ampetu wakha yelo. Yesterday was Sunday, which is probably not true, but it's as mentioned in the book here. So, but you can fill in your days of the week as needed. It's pretty user friendly. Number 4, Chtaleha taku ampetu he. Chtaleha taku ampetu ho. So, what day was yesterday? Chtaleha ampetu yamani. Yeah. Chtaleha ampetu yamani yellow. Yesterday was Wednesday. Number 5, Watohan yahi he. Watohan yahi ho. When did you arrive? And the answer is Hihani wahiya. Hihani wahiya lo. I came this morning. Number 6, Watoha yahi he. Watoha yahi ho. When did you arrive? We choka hiahe wahia. We choka hiahe wahia. Yellow. I came at noon. Or you could say chtayatu wahia. Chtayatu wahia lo. So yesterday I came. And this is just they're using a name, and I'm just repeating it. It doesn't refer to anybody in specific. Number 7, Watoha teri hi he. Watoha teri hi ho. When did Terry arrive? Terry wichoka hiaya hehan hiya. Terry wichoka hiaya hiya lo. Terry came at noon. Number 8, Leha wi awapi ampetu dona kcha he. Leha wi awapi ampetu dona kcha ho. What is the date today? And the answer given here is Leha wi awapi ampetu iyamani ye. Leha wi awapi ampetu iyamani yelo. Today is the 3rd. Number 9, Leha wi awapi ampetu tona kcha he. Leha wi awapi ampetu tona kcha ho. What is the date today? And the answer is a fill in the blank, so you can put it whatever you want in there. And the answer could be like Leha wi awapi ampetu zapta ye. Leha wi awapi ampetu zapta yelo. Today is Friday, or the 5th day. Excuse me. Today is the 5th, according to the calendar. And there's some months that only have 30 days. Some have 31 days. So you can practice all the way to 31 using wi awapi ampetu and then putting the number, filling it in. So now we get to the final. It says the word mazashkanshka is the word for clock and is used when asking a specific time. 1. Mazashkanshka watonha yahi ho he. Mazashkanshka watonha yahi ho. About what time did you arrive? And the answer is hihani mazashkanshka shagloka heha wahia. Hihani mazashkanshka shagloka Heha Wahialo. I came this morning at 8. And the second, number 2, Mazaskanshkan Watohan He He. Mazaskanshkan Watohan He Ho. But what time did he or she arrive? The answer in the book says, Mazaskanshkan Wikjemna Wahehan Hiya. Mazaskanshkan Wikjemna Wahehan He Yellow. He or she arrived about 10. And so that is the conclusion of lesson number 9. And it was very informative. And they said that this is the conclusion of lesson 9. If you feel you haven't mastered the material, you could stop the tape and go back to the beginning of the lesson, repeat it until mastery of the material is achieved. Good luck. We got to find that tape first. But that is the Lakota lesson. Thank you again. I want to remind you that this is addressed to the beginners, the ones that are just starting to learn the language, and that's the whole intent of these sentences, is for beginners, and it's not for advanced or people that have mastery in this. And so that is my statement. And I know there's a lot of fluent speakers out there. And if you're listening, if I mispronounced, I apologize. But if not, if I'm on the right track, I'm glad to share this information with you. And we do have some PSAs before I get into the last part of the show, where I have another story of stories. And these are old PSAs, but I'm going to read them because this is all I have. And I believe you could go to a website, cultural preservation website, and you could put your phone on a code, like a QR code or something like that, and it'll pop up onto your phone all the listings of all the events. But these are getting tattered. I've been using them so long that they're kind of sort of little bit weathered. And I have to find info first. Because if I don't find it, then I'm lost. The 150th Little Bighorn commemorative planning. There was a session held yesterday, or I guess earlier this week. Can't remember when, but it was getting to a point in time where it's almost that time of the month. I believe the target date is coming up fast. So we're about 15 days out, maybe less, 2 weeks out until this happens. Pejisla Wokiksuye, Greasy Grass Remembrance. June 25th, 2026, Wamblipaha, Eagle Butte, South Dakota, in honor of the 150th anniversary of the Pejisla Greasy Grass Battle. There will be activities of celebration scheduled for June 25th, 2026. The events will range from a parade, a traditional wachipi, a walk and run, horseback riding games, cultural education, and meals throughout the day. This is to celebrate the compassion, sacrifice, and contribution of our relatives, or what they have done for us in the present. More flyers and information will be sent out for everyone to plan accordingly as well as participate. So that is scheduled for June 25th here in Eagle Butte. We have 2 locations. There's 2 planning committees. One is a general overall planning, and then there's the local planning group, and then the Montana group. There's people that are planning for activities out in the Montana area. And I haven't got the latest details on that. I know they had a meeting recently, and I was late. It was scheduled for 1 o'clock, and I got there at 1, and I was half hour late. So I guess they're not going by Indian time, those guys. But they are in a meeting. They already were into their meeting, so I just listened in and wandered off. Just like I'm going to be when I get elderly. I'm just going to wander off. So we have 3 contests I'd like to, again, promote. Ti Ikchekia Akichapi. Ti Ikchekia Akichapi. And TP Challenge. And this is held here on the 25th. There'll be 4 relatives per team, 2 youth and 2 adults per team. Limit of 10 teams. Fastest 3 teams will win a prize. Fastest team also wins the bragging rights. To celebrate this historical day, we encourage relatives to partake in activities and events provided. The Ti Ikchekia Baslata TP raising contest, Akichapi, will be held during the traditional Wachipi on this day. Reminder, we encourage safety as well as enjoyment during this event, so bring your best Wachipi chair, Oakanke, Washtek Kiake Aupo, and support or participate in this cultural event. For more information, you can contact the Lakota Cultural Center, 605-964-2542. And this same message is attached to all the flyers, so I might not repeat it. The next one is Chanchecha Mimela. Hand drum singing contest. So that one is, registration is open to all. You must provide your own Chanchecha Mimela. Yeah. It's a singer's choice of songs. Adult first place, Mazaska ita ohia iktalo. Mazaska opawire yamani na Chanchecha Mimela. Le he ohia oyaki iktalo. You were able to win that. Hand drum and some mazaska. Adult second place is Mazaska Opawire Num Sam Wikjemna Zapta. Adult third place is Mazaska Opawire Numpa. Then there's a youth category, first place youth category. You're able to win or compete for Mazaska Opawi Yamani na Chanchecha Mimela Ohia Oyaki Ktalo. Youth second place is, the award is Mazaska Opawi Numpa Sam Wikjemna Zapta. And then youth third place is Mazaska Opawi Numpa. So that is the Chanchecha Mimela, the hand drum singing contest. So you have to hit the drum and sing a beautiful song. The third one I have is Akisha na li 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 li, war cry and trilling contest. Akisha na hichna gichala. Registration is open to all. And there's prize for first place in the category of the Wichasha, the man. First place in the category of the Wia, the woman. First place in the category of Hoksila, boy. And first place in the category of Wichinchala, girl. And this is crowd participation oriented winners determined by judges and the crowd. So those are three of the events. There's probably more happening, scheduled. And so the morning, I believe it's going to, on the 25th, there's going to be a parade down Main Street. It will start, I believe, at the middle school, which is on the south end of Main Street, and it will go to the Lakota Cultural Center on Highway 212, Highway 212. And there'll be singers leading, and they call for horseback riders, and then they're going to have some walkers, and they will wear commemorative event T-shirts. So there might be some T-shirts available for you to wear. And then following the walkers will be the floats. If you have a float, you're welcome to bring it. And it's to acknowledge the history as well as Victory Day. At the Culture Center, there'll be a gathering, a prayer gathering, Azealia, and then they'll retreat into the Culture Center for some educational presentations. If you have a story, you have a message that is related to the Battle of the Little Bighorn, I believe they encourage you to present that. And right east of the Cultural Center will be horseback riding in a grassy field east of the Cultural Center. And I think youth horsemanship will be spearheading that. We thank you. I believe that's Juanita and company. And the diabetes walk with T-shirts and snacks is tentative. I'm not sure if that's... I know the snacks will probably be there, but it's a diabetes walk. And youth basketball at the Legends Court. Youth basketball tournament. I don't know if it's 3-on-3 or 1-on-1 or full team, but we'll get you some information. Lunch is provided, so we'll have cookout food for lunch, and I believe that's going to be served at the Cultural Center. And then grand entry, 2 p.m., social dancing, the traditional Wachipi. There'll be social dancing at Wachipi grounds. And I believe these 3 contests will also be a part of that. And so it'll take most of the afternoon. And then a large dinner and meal for the community at the Culture Center around 6 p.m. And there was a tentative, it might still go off, fireworks to end the whole day's worth of activities. So that is an overview of what's happening. There's probably more information. And then at the same time, there's people that are going to be doing activities at the Montana Ranch. The tribe has a Montana Ranch. So there, I believe there's charter buses that are going to shuttle people up to the Montana Ranch. You have to have camping gear. And the deadline to sign up is June 12th. That's for the charter bus. And I believe you'll be camping at the Montana Ranch. And there's a draft agenda that is being processed. And so they're going to hopefully post that, or it is being posted. And then we do have other events that lead up to this special day. I believe a ride from, there's two groups of riders that are on their way to Crow Agency, and they left, they're probably past Faith, maybe almost to Mud Butte area on this day. And there's two groups there. There's three more groups. I don't know where they're at, but they might, or there's four other groups, so they might all converge on Crow Agency at the same time. We don't know, but everybody has their own schedules. Everybody has their own plans, and the tribe supports all the efforts, all the riders. We had a lot of young riders come out of Eagle Butte. They headed west on a very hot day, and they had the support of the family and friends, relatives, horsemen, horsewomen, and they went, I think first day they went to Dupree. They camped out in Dupree at the rodeo grounds, and then they traveled westward. They went to Red Elm and Faith. And then from Faith, they'll go off, or they will be off the reservation in Faith, and they'll continue westward. There's another ride that came up from Santee, Nebraska, and I believe they were in Greengrass. Part of their journey was to stop in Greengrass, and then I believe they're going to catch up to the other group, but they're about 2 days behind, so they might catch up to them. But there's some rest days. I believe when the big group gets to Belfouche, they'll have a rest day. And I don't have excuse me. I don't have a schedule with me. And this one, I'm going to end this presentation with a story. And I have to find the page. This is a story about the toad and the boy. The toad and the boy. And this comes from the Zinkalasha Old Indian Legends book publication, Agnes M. Peacock. Illustrations by Angel Decora. And University of Nebraska Press, Lincoln. Published in 1985. So it's very valuable. And this is for your listening pleasure. And we will share this with you. And it might have a message. I think it has a message about watching kids or something. I don't know. But I'll just let you figure it out. The toad and the boy. The waterfalls were flying. The waterfalls were flying overhead. They were flying over the marshy lakes, and it was now the hunting season. Indian men with bows and arrows were wading waist deep amid the wild rice. Nearby, within their wigwams, the wives were roasting wild duck and making down pillows. In the largest teepee sat a young mother wrapping her red porcupine quills about the long fringes of a buckskin cushion. Beside her lay a black-eyed baby boy, cooing and laughing. Reaching and kicking upward with his tiny hands and feet, he played with the dangling strings of his heavy beaded bonnet, hanging empty on a tent pole above him. At length, the mother laid aside her red quills and white sinew threads. The baby had fallen fast asleep. Leaning on one hand and softly whispering a little lullaby, she threw a light cover over her baby. It was almost time for the return of her husband, who had gone hunting. Remembering that there were no willow sticks for the fire, she quickly wrapped her blanket tight about her waist and with a strong-handled axe slipped through her belt, she hurried away towards the wooded ravine. She was strong and swung the axe as skillfully as any man. Her loose buckskin dress was made for such freedom, soon carrying easily a bundle of long willows on her back. With a loop of rope over both her shoulders, she came striding homeward. Near the entranceway, she stooped low, at once shifting the bundle to the right and with both hands lifting the noose from her over her head. Having thus dropped the wood to the ground, she disappeared into her teepee. In a moment she came running out again, crying, "My son, my little son is gone." Her keen eyes swept east and west and all around her. There was nowhere any sign of the child. Running with clenched fist to the nearest teepees, she called, "Has anyone seen my baby? He is gone. My little son is gone." You, exclaimed the women, raising to their feet and rushing out of their teepees. "We have not seen your child. What has happened?" asked the women. With great tears in her eyes, the mother told her story. "We will search with you," the women said to her as they started off. They met the returning husbands who returned from their trip and joined in the hunt for the missing child. Along the shore of the lakes, among the high-grown weeds, they looked in vain. He was nowhere to be found. After many days and nights, the search was given up. Excuse me. It was sad indeed to hear the mother wailing aloud for her little son. It was growing late in the autumn. The birds were flying high towards the south. The teepees around the lake were gone, except for one lonely teepee. Till the winter snow covered the ground and the ice covered the lakes, the wailing woman's voice was heard from that solitary teepee. From some far distance was also the sound of the father's voice singing a sad song. 10 summers and as many winters have come and gone since the strange disappearance of the little child. Every autumn when the hunters came, the unhappy parents of the lost baby came with them again to search for him. Towards the latter part of the 10th season, when one by one the teepees were folded and the families went away from the lake region, the mother walked again along the shore, weeping. One evening, across the lake from where the crying woman stood, a pair of bright black eyes peered at her through the tall reeds and wild rice. A little wild boy stopped playing among the tall grasses. His long, loose hair hanging down his brown back and shoulders were carelessly tossed from his round face. He wore a loincloth of woven sweetgrass. Crouching low to the marshy ground, he listened to the wailing voice. As the voice grew hoarse and only sobs shook the slender figure of the woman, the eyes of the wild boy grew dim and wet. At length, when the morning ceased, the little boy sprang to his feet and ran with a swift, outstretched toes. He rushed into a small hut made of reeds and grasses. "Mother, mother, tell me what voice it was I heard which pleased my ears but made my eyes grow wet," said the breathless boy. "Ah, my son," grunted the big, ugly toad. "It was the voice of a weeping woman you heard. My son, do not say you like it. Do not tell me it brought you tears to your eyes. You have never heard me weep. I can please your ear and break your heart. Listen, replied the great old toad. Stepping outside, she stood by the entranceway. She was old and badly puffed out. She had reared a large family of little toads, but none of them had aroused her love nor ever grieved her. She had heard the wailing human voice and marveled at the throat which produced the strange sound. Now, in her great desire to keep the stolen boy a while longer, she ventured to cry as the Dakota woman does. In a gruff, coarse voice, she broke forth. He, doeskin. He, ermine. He, red blanket with white border. Not knowing that the syllables of the Dakota's cry are the names of loved ones gone, the ugly toad mother sought to please the boy's ears with the names of valuable articles. Having shrieked in a torturing voice and mouth extravagant names, the old toad rolled her tearless eye with great satisfaction. Hopping back into the teepee, she asked, "My son, did my voice bring you tears? Did it bring you tears to your eyes? Did my words bring gladness to your ears? Did you not like my wailing better?" No, pouted the boy with some impatience. "I want to hear the woman's voice. Tell me, mother, why the human voice stirs all my feelings." The toad mother said within her breast, "The human child has heard and seen his real mother. I cannot keep him longer. I fear, oh no, I cannot give away the pretty creature that I have taught to call me mother all these many winters." "Mother," went on said the child's voice, "Mother, tell me one thing. Tell me why my little brothers and sisters all don't look like me." The big, ugly toad looked at her pudgy little children and said, "The eldest child is always the best looking." This reply quieted the boy for a while. Very closely watched the old toad mother as the old toad mother watched her stolen son. When by chance he started off alone, she shoved out one of her own children after him, saying, "Do not come back without your big brother." Thus the wild boy with the long loose hair sits every day on a marshy island hid among the tall reeds. But he is not alone. Always at his feet hops a little toad brother. One day, an Indian hunter waiting in the deep waters spied the boy. He heard of the baby stolen long ago. "This is he," murmured the hunter to himself as he ran to his teepee. "I saw among the tall reeds a black-haired boy at play," shouted he to the people. At once the unhappy father and mother cried out, "It is he, our boy! It is he, our boy! Quickly!" The hunter led him to the lake. Peeping through the wild rice, he pointed with unsteady fingers towards the boy, playing unaware. It is he, cried the mother, for she knew him. In silence, the hunter stood aside, while the happy mother and father caressed their baby-grown boy who was tall. And that was the end of the story about the toad and the boy. So the toad stole the boy, and fortunately, they were able to recover the little boy. So hey, mitaukepi wana miglustan cha tiata waganina asniwa kinkte lo na toha apetu kile ake letka wa ukte lo dwe hana na kaptanya kaki na wopila tra ke prelo ake ampetu washte yohapo doksha ke how